Yo, it's your boy Jay. I got Monty and Q with me, and welcome back to another episode of ElusiveMindz, where we know that your dreams may be difficult to reach, achieve, and obtain. But by the grace of God giving us the ability to give you this game for free, we hope that by the end of this episode, just like everyone before and after this, we bring you a little bit closer to making your dreams a reality. Before we get into it, I would like to apologize. We would like to apologize for the delays that we've been having. There's been a lot going on as far as like real life situations. Just trying to get back to some sort of stability in our lives, and trying to position ourselves. So it took a lot of running around, moving around, but we're back. We're back in full effect. We came up with a schedule that's a blessing to us. Hopefully it'll be a blessing to you guys. Putting out content every week and for the rest of season 1. So yeah, like I said, we definitely apologize if you guys have some take on that. Feel free to share before we hop into the discussion.
Just been locked in, trying to make sure everything's straight.
You know what I'm saying? Same. Really, everything you said is just real life situations for real.
Indeed. Today, episode 5 is titled "Stay the Course." Now I wrote, I made a post. I want to say, if not last week, the week before last, and I was just sitting at work, and it just kind of came to me, and I just got typing. But I think this is I was actually talking to Monty B about this yesterday. It's actually an interesting time that we put this episode out, considering where we're at in our lives, and dealing with what we had to go through probably within the last month or two, give or take. And it's just been one of those things where it's like kind of a frustrating process, and during a period of time where you gotta just kind of have faith and just trust that everything will work out, even when it's not looking up. This is why episode 5, Stay the Course, is interesting to me. It's definitely been a lot going on, like I said, within the past month, but just being able to power through it, and get back to a just a place of like I said, stability, or just a place of just getting back on track and trying to position myself to go to the next level and get to the next step of things for real. So that's really been that for you guys.
I mean, like, this episode, Stay the Course, title screamed out at me, because obviously, I've been ducked off a lot lately, especially right now, because, like, I've just been really focused on school. Like, that's the first time I can say, like, yeah, I've been focused on school, making sure everything is straight. Like, obviously, I do want to have time to have fun and things like that, but, I gotta do what I gotta do so I can do what I want to do.
Right.
So, like, this is something I want to do, and I've put in the work in school to get here for real. So yeah, I mean, this episode, it's gonna be a good one. Really just get into the mind of us, understand how we operate, and really stay the course.
Yeah, most definitely. Stay the course has always been a saying that's resonated with me my entire life for real, because it's always been applied to with everything that I've done.
Right.
And it's just one of those things that, like, anytime I'm like doing something, and I feel like, oh, this is kind of tedious, this is that, I always just say that in the back of my head, like, just make sure you stay the course. You know what I mean? Make sure you don't give up that real faith and hope to yourself, and you just keep going for real. There's always that light at the end, so
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Just stay
always
locked in
like,
and motivated and stay the course. So,
everything, will pay off at the end. Like, as long as you just keep pushing, keep doing what you gotta do, it's going to be something you're going to get. Like, you're going to get something in return, pretty much. Like, we could have the worst week of our lives,
Right.
but we will get something out of that week, whether it's physically or, like, it's just a lesson. Like, you will get something every time, and
Indeed.
it's just important that you don't let that, you don't dwell on that. Like, because, I mean, you dwell on it, it'll take you off, your course for real, because we all have our own lane. And, like, you know, if one little thing could really knock you off that lane, and it's just really important that you know, you keep your head on straight, you have a good support system around you to ultimately keep you in that one lane for real. And I mean, like, that's really been going on right now with me, especially, like, obviously, you know, there's been some little things going on that could possibly knock me off my track for real. But, like, y'all two definitely have kept me, like, level-headed and grounded in order to really continue with this grind I'm on. So, yeah.
Question that I have, which is like, I just came up with it actually based on what we're talking about.
Yeah.
How important is patience through adverse times per se, or times where things might not necessarily be going your way? How important is it having that patience and just waiting, you know, even when you can't necessarily see the light at the end of the tunnel right then and there? How important is it having that patience and staying composed and you know, having a level head in the midst of, you know, adversity and trials and things and such like that? How important is the patience?
It's super important, you know. I say patience is like, if not a top one, it's a top two, like, key thing to have, like, in your arsenal, you know.
Yeah.
It's always important to make sure that you don't completely lose yourself in the midst of whatever you're going through, because sometimes certain holes are way too hard to climb out of, you know what I'm saying? So if you have that patience, you'll always have that sense of, okay, you know, maybe it's not going so good right now, but I'm not gonna lose the faith or lose the hope, not like that. I'm gonna stay down, I'm gonna stay locked, and you know, it's gonna come eventually, you know what I'm saying? So that's always what patience has meant to me, and it's always been an important key in my everything I do. You know, I feel like everything that you do is gonna take patience.
Yeah.
Even from the littlest things all the way to the toppest things. It's always important to have that patience down. You know, that's
For real.
I think, like, with me, I think I'm a pretty patient person. Like, I think, like, you know, because I think it shows character with how patient, like, you can be in certain situations. Like, you know, having that patience and being able to really just stay calm and just understand, like, you know, everything's going to be okay. Like, that's really how I look at it. Like, having patience is just a deeper understanding of your surroundings. Like, it could just be a lot of things going on right now at once, but if you could just stay patient, stay calm, and stay, you know, locked in, and understand that, like, you know, yes, this is going on, I could get out of character for this, but nah, I'm gonna just stay calm and composed, because I know everything's going to be okay, because, I mean, like, God's going to make sure it's okay. That's really what it goes back to. It just goes back to, you know, God. Like, if you put your faith in God, pretty much anything can happen.
Indeed. For me, patience, I mean, I gotta piggyback off of probably what I said. Patience might be one of the most important things due to the fact that it's like, you know what I mean, like, our problem as a collective is that we want it now. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't want to go through the process, or we think the process is too long or lengthy. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I find interesting about pretty much anything we do, you know what I mean, even up to the finished product, is it's not so much the destination. It's the journey to get there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the journey to get there. It's the idea of, like, say for example, when, you know, when the whole idea, guys, of ElusiveMindz was just an idea. There was a process that it took for us to get here. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't, we came up with an idea and we woke up the next day like, all right, let's get behind the camera for real. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of things behind the scenes put into it. You know what I'm saying? And even now, you know what I mean? And even, you know what I'm saying? And even now, to get to a place as to where, like, when we put this out, we want to put out the best, you know what I mean, the best product based off of working with the things that we have now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, of course we want to get better. Of course we want to level up. Of course, we want to, you know what I mean, add things to the arsenal, things of that sort, but we understand that that's a process, and that's going to take time, you know what I'm saying, to morph into, you know, what we wanted to be, the vision that we have. So, you know what I mean, it's not one of those overnight things for real, and staying patient and, you know what I mean, staying calm. Like, my dad says it all the time, the cooler heads prevail, you know what I'm saying? Like, the cooler heads prevail, so it's just one of those things that, you know, in order to be in a position as to where we get the things that we want to strive for, like, it's going to take some work, but it's also going to take some weight and just believing in just the idea of, even when it's not necessarily visible or tangible, we can touch it or feel it or see it right then and there, you know what I'm saying? It's just having that.
And I think that's what sets us apart, because it's like, we understand that. Like, we fully understand that, like, what we want, we're going to have to really work for it. And it's not going to come now. It's not going to come tomorrow. Like, we got to work for everything we want. Like, we have a vision we see, and we're going to work hard until that vision comes true. Because, I mean, like, the situations we are in now, like, this ain't where we want to be. Like, we want to be further. And I think, like, we see that, and we know our potential. So it's just, we want to continue to work and continue to just get better every day.
And to your point, it's not where we want to be, but it's also that factor of it could be worse. You know what I'm saying?
Could be way worse.
I was looking at a word of the day, I think it was yesterday. And it says, to start it off, it's Proverbs. It's Proverbs chapter 29, verse 11. It says, "Fools are quick to express their anger, but wise people are patient and control themselves." I find it interesting because, like, even reading this yesterday, I actually experienced that yesterday. I got a well, y'all know this story, but I'm just sharing it with y'all. I was going to get an oil change yesterday, and it was like a little, like, a discount thing on, like, Groupon, and I went to this certain location, and, like, when I tell you I was getting a runaround, I went up there twice and I was getting a runaround. Nobody had a concrete answer for me as to why I couldn't get an oil change. And it was one of those frustrating things, and it was a moment where I was like, you know, I was frustrated, and I kind of wasn't proud of letting my anger kind of sort of get the best of me as far as, like, when I got to myself, because it was like, you know, it's just still mastering that patience and understanding that everything doesn't necessarily require you to get mad. Everything doesn't necessarily require a response.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And some stuff is really not the situation. We're bigger than the situation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times we get caught up how we feel in the moment, and that supersedes the idea of logic at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was you know, reading that from Proverbs and then just being confronted with that situation yesterday, it just goes to show, like, you know, just even in, like, you know, just the midst of our everyday lives, the things that, you know what I mean, even from down to the word of the day, it's prevalent, you know what I mean, in our lives in certain situations, you know what I mean, from whether it could be from the situation that you go through, situation that you go through, even, you know what I mean, something that we might all have the same take on it, but it's just a different situation, a different scenario, how it might play out. But you know, I think having that, you know, like, having that patience and having just the idea of keeping a cool head and still believing, you know what I'm saying, and just being logical about everything in the process. That's one of the biggest things about staying the course for real. Like, you know, understanding what you're doing it for, understanding, you know what I mean, some things more times than not, especially when you're going after something, you have to think about it in the mind frame of it being bigger than you. You know what I mean? Everything is not about you for real.
Yeah.
You know, I found that interesting for real. So,
No, it
you know.
definitely is. It's like, you never know until you know. Like, certain situations you really can't understand or can't, you know, put yourself into until it happens to you. Like, yeah.
For sure.
Like, experiences create, you know, different type of people. Like, everybody has their different experience. Like, we may go through the same thing, but my outtake on it could be completely different. It's just all the way, it's just really about your perspective on everything. Like,
That's
perspective really can change a lot of things. Like, and I think, which for me, like with my experiences and the things I go through and things like that, I really share them with y'all more than a lot of people, because like we have pretty much similar perspectives on life and different situations. So it's like, you know, we have a deeper understanding of each other and really can help each other more than, you know,
sure.
everyone else for real.
For sure.
Definitely.
Did you have anything to put towards that? Or to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I did have a little bit. Yeah, really, like what he said, for real. Everybody got the different experiences with these situations, and you know what I'm saying. With us, we really are three people. Like we're different people, but we really have the same type outlook on certain things. Where we
Right.
just, you know, put it together and put it in a podcast. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Or share it with whoever's asking us. You know what I mean? I think that's something that really separates us from most people, because we'll give you like an honest take on whatever it is you're asking, and you'll really like feel what we're saying. You'll really take what we're saying and actually like use it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just
Because we don't sugarcoat
feel
nothing.
like, I just feel like we.
Yeah.
That's what also sets us apart from most.
It's no sugarcoating. It's no sugarcoating. There's no bias, but at the same time, it's coming from a place of like, I want you to be better. You know what I'm saying? It's never from the idea of like trying to tear you down or belittle you or make you feel less than what you are. It's always that idea of like, you know what I'm saying? Okay, let's just say this idea is dope, or you know what I mean? But have you ever looked at it like this before? You know what I'm saying? Or just take a step back. Like sometimes when you're standing too close to the picture, like if I'm looking at my phone like this, I can't see the date. You know what I'm saying? But if I step back and I put the phone back a little bit, I can see that it's Saturday, September 30th, 12:57. But in bigger terms, when you feel me, when you're in certain situations, in certain environments, and you're too close to it, it's kind of hard to see. You know what I mean? If you're the problem, who's the problem? Whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Sometimes it takes you removing yourself from them environments, removing yourself and repositioning yourself. You know, to get that clarity and come to that realization of like, yo, like, okay, I can see where I went wrong at, or I can see the type of people I was dealing with, or I can see the environment that I was in that may have rubbed off on me and put me in a position as to where, you know what I mean, this is my mind frame, this is my thinking process for real. So I think that's interesting, which leads me to my next question for real. And to break it down, I find it funny because we talk about perspective, and perspective is more times than not, perspective from people is their reality. And what I notice is that, you know, sometimes people will place their own fears or project their own goals or insecurities based on what they wanted from themselves on us for real. You know what I'm saying? So the question that I have, how hard has it been, you know what I mean, keeping the main thing, or just having a tunnel vision, you know what I mean, in the midst of having so many different influences around you that's, you know what I mean, might be pulling you this way, might be pulling you that way, might be saying, hey, yo, I think you should do this. I think this might be a good idea for you. I think, you know what I mean, you might be strong in this area, but you have that one thing or multitude of things that you're just set on. You know what I'm saying? How hard has it been trying to maintain, you know, just the individual goal and achievement that you want for yourself? You know what I'm saying? And you know, per se, blocking out the noise based on other people's perspectives for what they want you to be. How hard has that been?
I can say it's definitely been a little, like, you know, nothing crazy, but definitely a little challenging, because like with that you're getting so many different takes on what you should do with your own life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sometimes you know it is all in good. It is all in good spirit. You know, people are just trying to help, give you some take on what they're doing, and maybe, you know, it might intrigue you.
For sure.
But and then it'd be the other side where it's just like you don't really want to do that,
Right.
you know, but it's just like
Go to the military.
I knew you was gonna say
to the
that. I knew
military.
you was gonna say that. I was waiting on it.
Like, bro, I'm not going to the military.
Yeah, I was waiting
That's
on
an
it.
example for sure.
Like,
Yeah, just be that type stuff for real, and it's just
did you go to the military?
it's just trying to balance all of that.
Did your son go to the military? I'm just not going. Like, what we doing right here, this is what I want to do. Like, I know you gonna watch this. Like, you know, I'm calling you out on camera. Like, it's just, you know, like, look, I understand. You want what's best for me. You want what's best for us. But the military really ain't it. This right here, yeah, we're in a car. We're in a car right now. But we're gonna be bigger. We're gonna be better.
Fact.
So you just gotta understand, like, it could be easy. Like, I could easily just go sign up for the military and give them 4 years of my life, or I could do what I want for 5 years and get to where I want to be without doing all that.
That's just one of those things people try to make it an ongoing battle.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Been telling us to go to the military for how long, yo? Like 2 years now.
Longer than 2.
Like, I just
That's
it's just
funny.
not.
No, that's the example. They try to project like what they want,
Yeah.
or what they wanted to do.
Yeah,
On
people,
other
you know.
Or would it even be whatever? Like, it could have been projected on them.
Indeed.
Exactly.
And people try to place you in a box.
Yep.
You know what I mean, and categorize you as something that makes them feel comfortable as to where they want you to be, not who you are as an individual within yourself. For real. Like, where like I place you in a box, like, yo, this is what he's good at. This is the only thing he's gonna be good at, or I feel as though he's good at this.
As an
Yeah.
athlete.
Yeah, I mean, you know, or you know what I mean. That could be one thing. You know what I mean? Like, and we were just talking about it yesterday, last night. Like, you know what I mean? I think the thing that makes us so interesting, you know what I'm saying, is that we're not one dimensional. You know what I mean? It's so many layers to unravel, and there's so much things that's just more than what's on the surface. That makes us so interesting for real. That when you look at us, you say, you know what I mean? Some people already categorize us and throw us in that box of like, okay, we know what these guys are about, but little do you know for real. You know what I'm saying? It's so much more to it. You know what I mean? And that's what makes it interesting.
Like, you look at us right now, you just be like, yeah, they're just content creators. But in my eyes, we're artists. Like, I think everything we do is an art. Like, whether it's playing basketball, you know, playing the game, like, just everything
Having
we
conversations,
do,
you know what I mean?
literally,
It's fruitful. You know
I
what
think
mean?
it's just an art. Like, it's all, like, it's just something about it that just gives it that artist feel. Like, you know,
You know what it is?
kind.
I agree with you. I agree with you 1,000%. But you know what I think it is, and I could be wrong. Stop me if I'm wrong. It's just the idea of us, not being afraid to learn. You know what I'm saying? But also having that vulnerability to come and be like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm having trouble with this. You know what I mean? How do I do this? You know what I mean? You might have, and we talk about it all the time. It might be some prior knowledge that you might have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That I could come and get from you, or even us just learning from the outside. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just that idea of pulling our glass of knowledge out of what we know right now, and being able to kind of take advice and reinvent ourselves and add certain things. So I think that's another part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Staying encouraged on your journey for real. Because if you're not willing to learn, if you're not gonna learn, you can't effectively, you know what I mean, be in a position as to where you can teach somebody anything. You know what I'm saying? Because it's one of those things. You know what I mean? You're gonna be stationary.
You know what you know.
Exactly. You know what I mean? It's I say it all the time. We should always, you know, practice on being that person to somebody else that we needed when we were younger. You know what I'm saying? Putting ourselves in a position as to where, like, you know, for us to be here right now, there were certain conversations that had to be had. There were, you know, certain aspects as to where, like, how we looking at it now, like, say for example, how Kari and Mari looks at things now. You know what I'm saying? They don't really understand or really get into the intricacy of what's what. They just know what they know right now, and there's no other real.
Just enjoying life.
You get me? They're just enjoying life in that aspect. You know what I'm saying? But that's probably one of the most biggest things as well. Not being afraid to learn. Not being vulnerable enough to say like, yo, like I need help with this. Like I'm not strong in this area. You know what I mean? Can you help me out? Can you put me in a better position? And we do that well. You know what I'm saying? So it's I mean it's a multitude of things, but I mean those attributes are probably some of the most like important and imperative.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? On the journey of whatever it is we're trying to go after, you know what I mean? And whatever you guys trying to go after, you know what I'm saying? This is just universal. This is not just for us. This is, you know what I mean, something that, you know,
we just want to
if you know what I mean, God, a lot of you guys can relate to.
Some of y'all, you know what I'm saying? Some of y'all might be experiencing something where y'all like losing patience and you know what I'm saying?
And it's hard to stay calm because I mean, it was a situation. What was it, last week or the week before? Where it could have easily went a different way if these two guys didn't stay calm. I'm not gonna say I stayed calm, but I was ready to go.
Right.
So,
okay.
Because it was just that whole situation at the court. Like
that
whole situation, like it really could have went one other way, and it was just like that way would have completely changed.
Yeah, it could have been so many.
It goes back to that court.
Yeah. Like, fools are quick to express their anger, but wise people are patient and control themselves.
I like
having to control yourself.
No. But like I'm saying, like, you know, that like whole situation. I mean, for me, it's like I'm always ready to. I'm always gonna go when it's about me and mine. Like if you're around me, you're in my circle, you like just in my family, just anyone close to me in general, I'm always gonna go.
Right.
So obviously, in situations like that, when I feel threatened or if I feel anyone around me is threatened, staying calm just not an option for me. It's really, I'm just gonna go. Like, obviously, that ain't the best mindset to have in situations like that, because, I mean, the things that were being said, if I just kept, like, you know, going, it would have went a different way.
Yeah.
But, I mean, shout out to Monty B, because he definitely played, you know.
Yeah, I mean, definitely looking at the bigger picture.
That's how I look, because I used to be the same way, Key. I used to just act on just off instant, like,
impulse.
Thought, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I've started to, like, really see things for what it is and see where it could potentially go for real. And I just always want I tend to de-escalate before I, you know, escalate further, because when I escalate, I go. And I'd rather just, like, you know, take it chill. And if I see, like, somebody I'm with ready to, you know, I try to, you know what I'm saying, calm them down as well. Just get them to see
and shout out to you for that, because and not that you know what I'm saying, I was in a mind frame of impulsiveness. It was just a moment, you know what I mean, being competitive, you know what I mean, just the idea of wanting to win, but it's also that aspect of everybody doesn't look at it like that. You know what I mean? I can't make fools, you know what I mean, understand or look at it from my point of view for real, you know what I'm saying? So I say all that to say is just the idea of, like, you know, looking at the bigger picture from the standpoint of, like, as to say, if, like you said, if it could have went a different way, if you check yes to one box, or if you check yes to one thing, you might be checking yes to a whole bunch of other things that you might not even be knowing at the time, because it could be so much blowback from this one incident. You know what I'm saying? And if it's really not that worth it, you know what I mean? Like it's not worth a life. It's not worth, you know what I mean, the time of day. It's not worth our future. You know what I mean? So more times than not, it's just the idea of getting over ourselves and getting over the idea of, like, you know, more times than not how we feel, and just the idea of, you know, not allowing our anger or our passion mixed with that to you know what I mean, overtake us and forget, you know, where we are in the moment for real. You know what I mean? Because the cooler heads do prevail, and that's just a higher, you know what I mean, principle. Just like in that situation, like, it's a principle for that, but on so many different levels, like, you know what I mean, as far as staying the course. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's something that has to be practiced, you know what I mean? It's something that has to be worked on. It's something that doesn't change overnight for real, you know what I mean?
And I do want to say, like, Like, when I mean be on hots, I be on go. That don't mean, like, I'm going to just act on it straight then and there. Like, you can ask them. Whenever we in that situation, I always say, just let me know. Like, I don't just jump. I need that confirmation that we all
because if
on
we're
the
gonna
same.
go, we're gonna go.
Exactly. Like, I don't want to jump, and they not gonna jump with me. Cause I mean, if I jump, it's gonna catch them off guard, and then it's like, dang, he jumped now, we gotta jump too. And I never want to put my brothers in this situation where they gotta just do it because I did it. I want like all of us to move as a unit. So if we want to do it, we all gonna do it. So like if we want to jump, I always make sure, especially like that day, I told Marnie, I'm like, let me know. Like if we gonna jump, just let me know, and then we're gonna jump together. But I'm never going to just jump and then just have them jump because I jump.
I got probably about 2 more questions before we wrap because I'm interested. What is the difference between emotional intelligence and just intelligence quoted from the standpoint of a broader state of mind for real? Like, you know what I mean? What are the difference and similarities between those things for real? Like, what does your emotional intelligence mean to you?
I feel like this is probably something we all gonna have to like. It's gonna be a group answer for real.
Yeah, for real.
Emotional intelligence to me, it really means like knowing yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Knowing your feelings, your emotions.
That's pretty much what I had.
Basically, you know what's going on in your brain.
Having
for
a deeper
real, you know
understanding of your emotions and how they all work together as one. Because all your emotions are a unit. They all work together in some sort of way in order to, keep you going. And it's like having a deeper understanding and really understanding how emotions, can evolve and how they just all operate and things like that. I think that is really emotional intelligence.
That's the best way to put it.
Yeah, just a deeper understanding of your emotions.
And then when you say intelligence, just the broader view, that's just, you just know life itself. Like, you just know, well, you got a way better understanding than most people on just how to navigate just through the basics of life, honestly.
Yeah, and I think that's easier to have than emotional intelligence.
I think so, yeah.
Because emotional intelligence, that takes a lot of practice and also
knowing yourself.
Yes, it's like step one is always just, acknowledging everything and just really reflecting. Like, you have to really reflect on yourself, different situations, and just how you grew as a person to really understand your emotions. But I mean, intelligence is just, just looking at life as it is and like really just understanding that. And that's easier to do than it is to just reflect on self.
Indeed.
Yeah.
That's for real. That's for real. I mean, y'all probably summed it up in the best way possible. That would just be a cycle of repetition. It's just, just like you said, get into the idea of knowing yourself and also knowing what pushes your buttons, knowing your limits, knowing what you can handle, what you can't handle, knowing how to disengage or de-escalate or remove yourself from a situation. Like, all of those things and ideas come along with just that underlying principle of emotional intelligence. You know what I'm saying? Just knowing what you can and cannot handle. So, it's just that bigger picture of like, more times than not, like, I know people who are in environments, and this is true, the environments rub off on you as well. Like, the people you hang around, you know what I'm saying, the company you keep, that rubs off on you, you know what I mean? Like, I like to think that, you know what I'm saying, like, the people who I keep around me, you know what I'm saying, I didn't always understand it when I was younger, for real, but it definitely is a direct representation of who you are as a person, for real. You know what I'm saying? And I'm proud because the group of people that I have around me, I feel as though a pretty solid group. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't really complain. You know what I mean? In that regard, because I've been in areas of toxicity. I've been in areas of, you know what I mean? Just that uncertainty of like, are you really for me? Are you genuinely happy for me?
Yeah.
Are you put me in a position to be successful? You know what I'm saying? And or better yet, what are you speaking into my life for real? You know what I mean? Like
are you adding any sort of value
Yeah.
to my life?
Yeah,
Are you gonna help me
or are you
get better?
subtracting to it? Are you subtracting to it? And money is not even one of those. Money is just like money as far as value that has value from a standpoint of like it doesn't really create, you know what I mean, happiness per se. You know what I mean? It gives you, you know what I mean, a certain
Temporary
freedom.
happiness.
You know what I'm saying? But we're talking about the things that don't lose value over time, like the conversations that we have, or like a thought as to where it's like, dang, I remember bro told me this a while back for real, and like this always stuck with me. You know what I'm saying? Like those are things that matter. Like, and that's true value within itself. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's a journey. It's a battle that, you know what I'm saying? It's a mental warfare. It's a mental warfare, and you never really got to figure it out 100%. That's why your faith comes in that praying. You know what I mean? Understanding that, you know, more times than not, most of the battles that we're gonna fight aren't our battles.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we just gotta sit back and play the role and let everything unfold. But having the faith that it's gonna work out. You know what I mean, for the good. Last question that I have, I actually asked my brother this. Shout out to you, Just, if you watch this episode. And I'll be interested in hearing your answer Monday morning. The question that I asked, and I just came up with it. It was actually interesting to me. I was just sitting downstairs, just thinking. You know, the thoughts just get to flowing. The question is, what's probably been the most important and interesting part about your failures in your particular field of work?
I would say, when we say field of work, are we talking like everything considered this?
We could do everything considered this, or we could just focus on one particular thing, however you want to go about it, whatever that is. You know what I mean? It could necessarily be this or just a multitude of things, whatever you want to expound on. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
gonna lump them all together because it's really all the same thing. It's
Okay.
really been the way we've stayed in it, even through the trial and error. That all of this brought. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be the first to say it. You know, starting a podcast, we all knew it wasn't just gonna be like 1,000 views every video off the rip. You know what I'm saying? We know it's a gradual process, and it's just understanding that. Honestly, it don't really like hurt. You know what I mean? It don't like make us want to just stop doing it because maybe it's not jumping like we thought originally. But it's all about just staying the course. You know what I mean? Because it's gonna be that eventual time that
It will happen.
It goes up. You know what I'm
It
saying?
will happen.
It just goes up, and I'm already knowing it's gonna happen. I know my brothers believe it's gonna happen, and even with just like regular jobs, you know, staying the course with that. Sometimes maybe, speaking from experience, sometimes maybe your job might do something wild to you. You know what I'm saying? And you just want to be like, all right,
Yeah.
maybe I should just like switch up or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But you know, you gotta provide in that way, and it's all about, you know, keeping that thought in your head of, okay, maybe I know maybe this ain't what I want to do, but I'm gonna keep doing it because I got there's a bigger goal, and this is gonna help me get to that goal.
Indeed, man.
I think this is really just the trial and error that's really been interesting to me because it's honestly motivating more than anything. That's really the best way. It's just a motivating thing.
You posted my tweet. I seen it. I was like, yo, post my tweet. My tweet said, like, if you knew my story, you understand why I can't quit.
Yeah. Nah, that was one of that's probably one of my favorite Favorite tweets.
Cause it's like, you know, like if you really understand who I am as a person, you understand I took a lot of losses, and a lot of those losses I could have quit, but it's like, you know, I understand like sometimes you take a loss and you gotta really reflect on that loss to really grow as a person, and like basically that's, I feel as though all the losses I have, you know, taken in my life, they just made me stronger, made me grow as a person, and really motivate me to do better, to really continue doing what I want to do. Like, I mean, obviously, like you said, man, like, you know, this probably ain't booming the way we want it, but, you know, that don't make me want to stop. This is something I want to do. I've been wanting to do this since I was 11. Like,
Indeed.
you know, I'm going to continue to do it until I'm where I want to be. Because I know that's...
Stay the course.
Yeah, stay the course. Like, that's the vision.
For sure. And we understood coming into this process that it wasn't going to be, you know what I mean, a overnight thing. We understood it was going to be some things where, you know, what we wanted to look like, and based on what it looks like right now, we understand that there's a process. We understand that there's a journey. We understand that it's going to take patience. We understand it's going to take emotional intelligence. We understand each and everything that we touched on is you know, that we're expounding to you guys, or expounding on to you guys about. These are things that we're dealing with in our everyday lives. You might be able to relate to it. You might not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's definitely one of those things that's been interesting from the standpoint of, like, you know, looking at it and you say to yourself, like, it's bad, but it could be worse. You know what I'm saying? But it's just that idea of, you know, still having that thrill, you know what I mean? Like, I have a thrill doing this. Like, I look forward to doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things where it's like, I wouldn't trade it, you know, I wouldn't trade it for the world. And what I'm doing and what we're doing, you know what I mean, is trying to change a narrative, you know, so it's bigger than ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not so much just about us, you know what I mean? And hopefully you guys can relate to it and put it in terms as to where, like, you know, we're all going through something in a different way, but where we find that common ground is just understanding, you know, just that the patience and that we have to have, and just continuing just to believe in a vision, and just continue to carry the cross.
Yeah.
Carry the cross and keep going. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing about staying the course. You just staying encouraged even when things don't look up. You know what I mean? So, to sum it all up, I mean, I at this particular juncture in my life, I can't ask to be in a. I want to be in a better position, but based on where I was, you know what I mean. You know, just a couple months not being employed. You know what I mean. Going through, you know, just situations with myself, trying to get back to where I was at, trying to put myself in a better position. You know, just getting back into the shake of things and starting to map things out again. So I can't be mad, but on this process, I definitely learned something about myself. You know what I mean? I definitely learned about a different level of strength that I had. And more times than not, it's found in God. It's found in having those conversations. You know what I mean? Talking to yourself, and you know what I mean. Before I can, you know, judge anybody or put an opinion on anybody, I'll take a look in the mirror. You know what I mean? And say, like, what can you work on? What can you do to improve yourself? What did you mess up on? And it takes a lot of that, you know what I mean, you know, on this journey, you know what I'm saying? And it'll definitely be more of that, you know what I mean? Because there's always room for improvement. So, I mean, but, I mean, to sum it all up, that's what it is. And, we stay in the course, you know what I mean? We not quitting.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying?
Never give up.
At all.
John Cena.
Shout out to John Cena.
Each love.
Fast Lane.
New tag coming soon.
Fast Lane. Next Saturday.
Yep.
There is.
Can't wait.
You guys have been amazing. Like I said, we're sorry for the delays.
Yeah.
Right now, I think we're on a schedule as to where we should be able to get every episode out, you know, every week from now on. We have 4 more episodes left after this. I think 5 or 4 more episodes left after this. I'm excited. I'm excited about. I always say I'm excited. I'm always excited. I'm excited about episode 6, titled "The Spilled Milk Aftermath."
Oof.
We got a lot to unravel in regards to that. But hopefully this conversation helped y'all, may help whatever area you're in your life, maybe help you move forward, gave you some progress, gave you some perspective and some insight on something that you may be struggling with. You know what I mean? I just want you guys to understand each and everything that we talk to you guys about, we're talking to ourselves as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're talking to ourselves. We're speaking life into ourselves. We're speaking just the idea of wanting to get better and wanting to move forward and just the next step and moving about it in a positive attitude and mind frame. So, I couldn't ask for a better unit to be doing what I'm doing now. You know what I'm saying? And I can't be ungrateful and complaining about the process because it was worse. You know what I'm saying? So, to sum it all up, do you guys have anything else to add before we leave?
We back.
We back.
Back in business.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Just once again, sorry for the delayiness of this episode, and we appreciate. I speak for all. I was gonna say we appreciate all the support that we get.
Yeah.
It truly means a lot and goes a long way for us.
Indeed, for sure.
Just make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications.
Turn them
Can't forget
on.
it.
What are you
Can't forget
doing with your life if you haven't already turned it on? If you ain't tuning in, if you ain't, you know what I mean? Feed your mind full of positivity and just enjoy it. You know what I mean? Grow. Elevate. All of those things. We want y'all to stay blessed, stay healthy, stay safe, stay prayed up, but most importantly, stay elusive.